The last Friday in August is a very important day for high schoolers in my high school. It's the day that everyone comes back from summer vacation, and there's a party that night, and that is when the social pecking order for the next year is set, right? That's like the sorting hat of the year. So ever since I was a little kid, since I was in first grade, my dad's idea of getting me ready for the new school year, getting me fresh, was he would take my older brother, myself, to his barber, an old man with like Dum-Dums and Superman comics, and then all three of us would proceed to get the exact same haircut. So, and then I would get my older brother's, hand-me-down clothes. That was back to school shopping, and it was to the point where I had to preempt almost any new person that I met all through my childhood with I'm a girl. I'm a girl. Like every single new person, every single new teacher, passport control, you name it. So going into my junior year of high school, the mullet, the unibrow, and adolescence is hitting me, so thank you to my ancestors, my mustache. I'm not cute. And I'm like, no, this last Friday of August, this is it. This is gonna be my chance to reinvent myself. Not just as, like a cool person, but I'm gonna be a woman. I'm gonna go straight from a little boy to a woman. So that whole summer, I am very book smart, and I am very good at literature reviews. And I watched every single high school rom-com I could get my hands on. So that was Clueless, that was 10 Things I Hate About You, and my favorite, because I'm a musical theater nerd, is Grease, and I loved Olivia Newton-John. Yeah. R.I.P. So one thing that I noticed as I'm taking notes is in order to have a glow up, you have to have a makeover montage scene. And you have to enter in, and then everyone turns their head and they're like, who's that girl? And I was like, this is going to happen to me. And I am going to manufacture this. And this was early 2000s, late 90s. This was before Hollywood screenwriters realized that women had their own sort of motivations and internal lives, and the only way to have a glow up was to become extremely sexy, was to use your sex appeal, and then you were suddenly at the top of the pecking order. And Olivia Newton-John at the end of Grease, she has a pair of pants that she has to be, sewn into, and that to me was peak womanhood. So I go in, it's that last Friday in August, and I'm about to enter this bar. It's a bar that is doing so poorly in business that their main clientele is underage high school kids. It's called Night and Day, it's N-I-T-E, so it's classy. And I am ready. I have plucked my eyebrows within a millimeter of their life. I have eyeliner on as thick as my eyebrows used to be. And I have on a pair of red leather pants. And these red leather pants are my golden ticket into coolhood. And I walk in, and I've got it. I'm turning heads, and people are going, who's that girl? And I smile, and I go, and I walk, and I get an appletini. And I'm drinking my appletini, and I'm like, yeah, this is the year. The guys in the soccer team, they're like gods in my school, right? They're looking down from Olympus. And I'm like, this is the year I'm gonna get a boyfriend. So I'm dancing along, and it's hot in here. It's 80 degrees after the sun goes down, and I'm in a small room with no windows. But that's okay, I'm looking I'm really sexy, right? So I look great. I'm the sexiest 15-year-old you've ever seen. So then I go and I get another appletini, and the stoners are looking at me and they're like, and I'm like, yeah, this is the year that they offer me a blunt. And I am squeaking away to the music, and with every gyration of my hips, my pants become a little bit louder. And then, the thing that like I had been wanting most in the whole world happens. The girls from the back of the bar, the girls with like little tiny Prada purses, one of them comes up to me and goes, Remy, where'd you get those pants? And I was like, I don't remember, but they were probably on sale because you can't actually make yourself cool. But I couldn't even enjoy that moment because those 3 appletinis were starting to hit me like right where the pants were. And I run to the basement, and this is such a shitty bar. There's only one bathroom in the basement. It's one little stall with a toilet and like a little string with a bear bulb on it. And I run down there, and I get in there, and I am trying to like undo the zipper. I'm like pulling it, and it is so hot that I don't know what has happened, but my pants have either shrunk or my legs have expanded. And those appletinis are just like, they're like knocking at the door. And I, with like a Herculean effort, get the button undone, get the pants undone, and pull them down. And they're like inside out around my knees, and I don't know, like, oh, like it was wonderful, right? Like it was pure joy. There was like a breeze blowing. I was like at the beach. The pants are like inside out around my knees. I pee, and you know, that joyous 3 appletini pee. And I was in there for a while, and there's like, you know, people starting to line up outside the door. Like I hear the door jiggling, I hear the door knocking, and I'm like, one moment. I'm savoring it. And I pull the pants back up around me, and only to find, all right, you know when you have leftovers, and you have saran wrap on your leftovers, and then you take the saran wrap off, but then you can't get the saran wrap back on to the leftovers when you're done? That they're just like a wadded up mess of saran wrap? That's what was happening to my legs. So I'm in there, and I'm trying to like find an entryway here to get some like nails underneath there to pull my pants back up. And the line is just getting longer, and the knocks are getting more urgent, and they're like, what are you doing in there? And I'm like, nothing. I'm fine. And they're like, are you taking a shit? And I'm like, no, in a very convincing tone. And I'm trying to pull these pants back up, but I can't get them. Like, I don't understand. Like, I look down, and my legs are like hot red chorizo sausages. And eventually, I hear the door jiggling, and one of the girls is outside, one of the Prada girls, and she's like, Remy, I know it's you in there. Everybody knows it's you. Let me in. You obviously, things are not all right. So I open the door, and I peek out the door, and she scoots in, and she takes one look at me. She's like, we can do this. We can fix this. This is fixable. And she calls over her girlfriends, and they make like a human barrier for me. And I scoot, penguin style, because they're so tight around my knees, behind them to a safe place away from the bathroom so it can be put back into use. And I've got one Prada girl on one side and one Prada girl on the other side, and I'm jumping up and down as they try to pull the pants back up. And it's really no use, right? Like, just like the saran wrap, you never actually get it back on, you just throw it away. So that's what they said. They were like, Remy, this isn't gonna happen. We're gonna have to take the pants off. And I become resigned to my fate that this might not be the year that I get a boyfriend. And so, many years later, I later helped my sister-in-law give birth. And I remember watching her give birth and thinking with great empathy, like, I know what you're going through. Because I had to lean back on a chair with both my legs up in the air while each of the Prada girls held my legs and pulled at them, and my legs were so hot and so sweaty that as they did like a coordinated move to get my pants off, I could see my sweat fly off my legs and hit one of the girls in the face. And I thought, this might not be the year I'm cool. So they gave me back my pants. I wrapped them around my waist, Walk back up the stairs in my kilt. And I see the girls in the back, and they're kind of averting their eyes, and they're not really talking to me. And I'm like, okay. And I walk past the soccer team, and they too are averting their eyes. And I knew things were bad because even the stoners didn't laugh as I left the bar. And so I learned from that experience a few things. The first is that glow-ups don't happen overnight. You don't become a woman overnight. You don't start off with a mullet and then end up, a blunt-smoking person with a boyfriend and a Prada bag. And I also learned that women, even if you don't know them, at your lowest lows, when you really, really need help, it is women that will come to your rescue. But I did take my first step on my road to womanhood, because that was the night that I learned a skill that I have used many, many times in my adult life. And that was to hold my head up high and to do my first baby walk of shame.